Hello and welcome to your in-depth weekly horoscope for week commencing the 13th of December for the Sun or the Ascendant. Now I'm going to give you a broad overview of what to expect, but please stay with me because then I will dive deep and in forensic detail give you the inside track for your particular zodiac sign. This week begins with Mercury moving from the sign of Sagittarius into the earth sign of Capricorn. Now Mercury is very effective in Capricorn, particularly around business matters, but is replaced in the sign of Sagittarius by Mars. Now Mars governs the second decan of Sagittarius, so it's very much at home in this sign. Sagittarius energy is very much to do with being adventurous and pioneering and buccaneering, and the Sun stays in the sign of Sagittarius, and Mercury and Mars are going to be in a semi-sextile this week, which is very enabling, so that's something to really appreciate. I should say that Mercury joins up with Venus and Pluto in Capricorn, so if there are things that we need to grapple with of a more material nature, or it is around a relationship situation where we're looking to get some greater clarity about just how steadfast it is or not, the discussions that can follow from Mercury in that arena, along with Venus and Pluto, can be very helpful. But of course, due to COVID regulations, it's not so easy to think about widening our horizons in a more physical way with the arrival of Mars in Sagittarius. But the Sun this week forges an amazing link to Jupiter. Jupiter is the ruler of Sagittarius, so there's a receptivity here. And this angle, the sextile between the Sun and Jupiter, is probably one of the most fortunate ones that can be struck in astrology. So if there is something around a group activity, a wider principle that you're really interested in, that you can come together with people, even if that's not physically possible, perhaps through the internet, the uplifting energy of the Sun and Jupiter really can be something we can all appreciate this week. And for some lucky people, depending on their nativities, their natal charts, this could bring about a real stroke of giant fortune. Now this is a week, of course, when we do have a full moon, and this full moon occurs in the sign of Gemini, which is very fleet-footed, ruled by Mercury, but it's forging a really uplifting link with Jupiter too. So there's a lot to be excited about this week, but it has to be said that Venus does go into retrograde as the week draws to a close, which goes on through to the 29th of January. But there's a lovely link between Uranus and Mercury as the week draws to a close. So if we are thinking about trying to make the most of our resources, an imaginative idea, thinking about something to do with technology that provides a service to others and maybe earns an income to us, can also be something that inspires. So in general, a really sparkling week. But if you're new to my channel, I would be honoured if you'd subscribe. Please click or tap on the bell notification symbol. And if you'd like to order your year 2022 personal forecast, you can do that by clicking on the link beneath this video. You can get a character analysis as well, 30% off, the rest of this year free, or if you order earlier in January, you can get the full 12 months from the point of that order. Gain searing insights into how your personal astrology is evolving in relation to the planets moving in the sky above us. But stay with me for that detailed forecast next. Hello Taurus and welcome to your in-depth forecast for week commencing the 13th of December. Mercury is the planet of communication, but it can also be very closely linked to travel. Its move into your 9th house could see you thinking about how you can perhaps create the opportunity to get away over the Christmas or New Year festivities. Of course, that may depend on your local COVID restrictions, but the fact that Venus and Pluto are also in your 9th house waiting suggests a change really can be as good as a rest. And if you are able to go off to do some Christmas shopping just in a different locality, that actually could prove to be very stimulating. But higher education is often linked to the ninth house, and Mercury can be about how we think about things. So if you're wanting to reskill in some way, over the Christmas holidays, it may be that you're going to do a lot of investigation about the type of courses that could add to your skill set. If you're already on track with something, I think you're going to go through a glittering period of really getting to grips with it. Now, of course, Mars moves at the start of this week into your sector of neat passion. Mars in the 8th house is hot and it can be intense. This can be an opportunity to really invest in a relationship which really does appeal to you. And if there is that spark, that charisma, that intensity that really makes your heart race, you really fancy someone, then it's going to be in for an exciting time through till the latter part of January. But this week, of course, does see a full moon, and this full moon occurs in your 2nd house to do with everyday money, and the sun is in your 8th, but Jupiter, the planet of opportunity, is in your sector of work. So there could be a chance, even at this late stage of the year, that you're going to be travelling to a job, especially if you're really determined to improve your financial situation. But as the week comes to a close, Uranus in your sign is also triggering a very sparkling alliance with Mercury. And although you have a reputation of being someone who likes what you know, familiarity makes you feel comfortable, the planets keep pushing you to challenge yourself, to think of new ways of approaching all sorts of areas of your life, whether it's your interests, whether it's your communications with others, whether it's anything to do with knowledge, whether it's to do with your work or even a close relationship. The more you can change things up at this time, the more you can benefit, even if at some deeper level that change may be something that you do feel slightly resistant to, but that's just your nature, which likes those long established routines because it does give you a sense of certainty and security.